Welcome back, guys. This is going to be a lesson on the law of cosines. The law of cosines, we start with the basic assumption that we're going with a triangle that looks like this. An angle A, large A, is across from the side that's small a. Angle B is across from the side that's small b. Angle C is across from the side that's small c. The law of cosine has three forms. Here's one of them. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of A. That's one of the forms. Another form is b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine of B. The third form is c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of C. Notice how these things are related to one another. There's a certain rhythm to them. There's a certain pattern to them. These are things that need to go in your note cards. Okay, so put those in your note cards. In example 1, we're going to use one of these forms to help us out. We're going to find the missing parts of triangle ABC if A is equal to 60, B is 20, and C is 30. I've already filled those in for you. Well, we need to go ahead and find the missing parts. If we're going to try to do that, we need to be smart about the choice that we make. We have angle A. Okay? So knowing that we have angle A, we're going to use the one that involves using the cosine of A, because we already have A, so why not just use it? And so what we're going to use is A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2bc cosine of A. Notice, we have B, we have C, so we can plug it into all of these values to give us something that we didn't necessarily know before. So A squared is going to be equal to 20 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 20 times 30 times the cosine of 60. When I look at all this, what I end up with is A squared is equal to 400 plus 900 minus 40 times 30, which is 1200, times 0.5, or 1/2. 400 plus 900 is 1300 minus 600, so A squared is equal to 700. So A is going to be equal to 26 inches. After we take the square root of both sides, we rounded it. So this is equal to 26 inches. Now, what else are we missing? Well, we're missing the other angles. We don't have C and we don't have B. But luckily for us, something that we can do is we can now use the law of sines, because think about this. Because we have the angle A, we can say sine of A over A is equal to sine of B over B is equal to sine of C over C. I am going to choose to use B, so the sine of 60 over A, which is 26, is equal to the sine of B over B, which I know to be 20. So when I do my cross multiplication here, 26 sine B is equal to 20 sine 60. I'm going to divide by 26 on both sides, and the sine of B is equal to 0.6662. So I do the inverse sine, and I get that B is equal to 42 degrees. Now, if this is 42 degrees, the third step we can do is we can say, scroll down just a hair, 60 plus 42. If I subtract that from 180, I'm going to end up with what I want, and that C is equal to 78 degrees. So I really only need to use the law of cosines for one piece. Okay? Let's look at the situation if we have three sides. Okay? If we have three sides, and I'm going to partition this because we're doing a little bit something different. If we have three sides, we have a couple of different things. We have the cosine of A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared. These are alternate forms of the cosine of the law of cosines. Over 2bc. The cosine of b is equal to a squared plus c squared minus b squared over 2ac. Notice the letter that's not on the bottom is the angle that we're using, so the cosine of c is going to be equal to a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. Okay? These are alternate forms. You're going to put these in your note cards. Okay? So if I look down at what I've got here, and I'm going to use my alternate form because I have A, I have B, and I have C, and I want to solve triangle ABC. Well, if I'm going to set up my first, and we're going to solve for angle A, what I'm going to say is this. The cosine of A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. And what I can do is this, just plug in what I know. So 20 squared plus 18 squared minus 34 squared over, now 2 times b times c. If I simplify this, and I've got some space to do so, I'm going to come down just a little bit. If I come down here and I simplify this, I end up with all of this on top divided by all of this on the bottom gives me the cosine of A is equal to 0.6, and it's negative. And so I'm going to do the inverse cosine of negative 0.6 is equal to 127 degrees. Now, we have a couple of different ways that we can find angle C. We could use law of cosines or law of sines. I'm going to use the law of sines because I think it's a little bit easier. There's less calculations to do. And so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say that we have I've just found A. So when I have A, I can say the sine of 127 over 34, which is A, is equal to the sine of C over C, 18. When we cross multiply and divide, I have 18. Sine of 127 is equal to 34 sine C. I divide by 34 on both sides, and I end up with the sine of C is equal to 0.4228. I do the inverse, so I get C is equal to 25. And when I scroll down, I have A is 127, C is 25, so 180 minus 127 plus 25 is equal to 28 degrees is equal to B. Okay? So that's my gist of my law of cosines. I want to use it to basically find one and then use the law of sines to find the other. Okay, guys? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you have any questions, please write them down in the margins. Make sure you're coming and talking to me. If not, rewind it and see if you can do another one. All right? We'll see you next time.